Hello friends, my name is Vikas. Today we will do this chapter. The chapter name is coordination compounds. So we start the chapter. Coordination compound represent a special class of compound. In the early days of chemistry, it was very difficult to explain why stable molecules which are capable of existing independently should react in stoichiometric amounts of the several new and stable compounds. For example, an aqueous solution of cobalt to chloride react with varying number of another stable molecules such as ammonia in the presence of oxygen to give a series of well-defined crystalline compound of composition COCl3.6NH3 COCl3 5NH3 COCl3.4NH3 and COCl3.3NH3 which are appropriately named according to their order. COCl3.6NH3 yellow, color yellow, early name luteal complex. COCl3.5NH3 color purple, name is Purpurio complex. COCl3.4NH3 color is green and early name is Pressio complex. COCl3.3NH3 color is violet and early name is Violio complex. Such compounds were named as complex because they appeared unusual and very difficult to understand. Today, thousands of such type of compound are known. The credit for explaining the bonding in this complex goes to Alfred Werner, who was awarded Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1930 as a fitting recognition of this accomplishment. According Werner, complexes or coordination complexes represent as special class of compounds in which the central metal atom is surrounded by the number of ions. These compounds are now popularly called coordination compound. Coordination compound have also been found to be of biological importance. Iron compounds are found throughout the plant and animal kingdom. Iron is present in hemoglobin, the molecule in red blood cells that is responsible for the transport of oxygen O2 from lungs to the other tissues of the body. Myoglobin, found in muscles tissues, is a similar molecule containing iron. Myoglobin takes oxygen from hemoglobin, holding it until it is required by the muscle cells. Chlorophyll is another magnesium compound in which magnesium is surrounded by four nitrogens which are part of the coplanar fused ring system. Chlorophyll plays an important key role in the biological process known as photosynthesis, in which CO2 and H2O are converted into sugar molecules. Apart from biological usefulness, coordination compound finds extensive application in process such as water treatment, soil and plant treatment. Some of the coordination compound have recently been used as versatile catalyst for the production of organic on industrial scale. Increasing use of coordination compound is being witnessed in many metallurgical process, especially in electroplating. In this chapter, we will review some of the terms commonly used in coordination compounds. Special refers to the Werner coordination theory. Werner's coordination theory of coordination compound. A number of theories by different scientists were put forward to explain the structure and bonding coordination compound. However, none of the proposed theories could explain satisfactorily all the known properties of coordination compound. It was only in 1893 that Alfred Werner could successfully explain the bonding in coordination compound, the theory which laid the foundation of coordination chemistry, popularly known as Werner coordination theory of coordination. In recognition of this contribution, this frontier area of chemistry, Werner was decorated with the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1930. The postulates of the Werner's theory are the following. First is every element exhibits two types of valencies known as primary valency and secondary valency. The primary valency is ionizable, whereas secondary valency is non-ionizable. The primary valency refers to the oxidation state of the element or ion, whereas the secondary valency correspond to coordination number. Second is every metal atom has a fixed number of secondary valencies, that is its coordination number. Third is every metal atom tries to satisfy both its primary and secondary valency. Primary valencies are satisfied by negative ions. Secondary valencies are satisfied either by negative ions or neutral molecules. In some cases, a negative ion may satisfy both the primary as well as secondary valencies. So, fourth point is the primary valency are non-directional and the secondary valency are directional, and V directly towards the fixed position in space. As a result, the secondary valencies determine the geometry of the coordination complex. For example, if the metal has 6 secondary valencies, these are direct to the 6 corners of the octahedral around the central metal atom. On the other hand, if the metal ion has a secondary valency, these could be directed either towards the 4 corners of tetrahedral or a square planar arrangement around the central metal atom. It is thus the number and arrangement of these secondary valencies that determine the stereochemistry of the coordination compound. Let us try to explain the bonding in various cobalt amine complex formed on the basis of revolutionary postulates of Werner's theory. In all the 4 cobalt amine complex, first is COCl3.6NH3, COCl3 5NH3, COCl3 4NH3, COCl3 3NH3. The secondary valency is 6 while the primary valency is 3. Each structure is written satisfy both the primary as well as secondary COCl3.6NH3. Isomerism in coordination compound. Isomerism is one of the most interesting aspects of molecular structure. If you recall, organic chemistry is incomplete without its phenomena of isomerism. Likewise, the chemistry of coordination compound and complexes is rich of isomerism. Many coordination compound and complexes have the same chemical formula but different structural arrangements. Such type of compounds are called isomers. Because of different structural arrangements, the isomers have different physical and chemical properties. Coordination compounds show various type of isomerism. Important type can be broadly classified into two types: structural isomers and stereoisomerism. The structural isomers in coordination compound can be classified further according to 5 different types, namely ionization, hydrate, coordination linkage, and coordination position. On the other hand, stereoisomers and broadly classified into two types, namely geometrical and optical. Structural isomerism. These isomers have the same molecular formula but different structural arrangement of atoms around the central metal atom. Let us discuss the various types of structural isomers one by one. Ionization isomerism. This type of isomerism arises due to the exchange of anion within and outside the coordination sphere. As a result, these isomers give different ions in solution. For example, the two compounds CONH3Br SO4 and CONH3SO4Br represents ionization isomers because the complex compound are formed by the exchange of Br ion in the coordination sphere with the SO4 2 negative ion outside the coordination sphere and vice versa. Both the compounds have different physical properties. For example, the bromo complex, that is CONH3 5SO4Br, is red, whereas the sulfato complex CONH3 5BrSO4 is violet. The chemical properties of the two ionization isomers are also different. The red isomers forms an off-white precipitate AgBr with Ag plus ion but gives no precipitate with Ba2 plus ions. On the other hand, the violet isomers CONH3 5BrSO4 reacts radially with Ba2 plus ion to give the precipitates of BaSO4. The reactions so above indicate that the ions bound in the coordination sphere are not freely react. In summary, CONH3 5BrSO4 gives SO4 2 negative ions in solution, while CONH3 SO4Br gives Br ions in solution. Other example of coordination compounds showing ionization isomerism: hydrate isomerism. This type of isomerism is very closely related to ionization isomerism. In hydrate isomerism, water is exchanged between the complex and the rest of the complex. These classical examples of hydrate isomerism is shown by the 3 hydrated chromium 3 chloride of composition CrCl3.6H2. In the other words, 3 isomers of CrCl3.6H2 are known, which are the violet colored compound does not lose any water molecule on hydration when capped out concentration sulfuric acid. However, the addition of silver nitrate solution precipitates all the 3 Cl ions. The green colored compound CrH2O5ClCl2.H2O loses one water molecule on dehydration, with molecules on dehydrates with H2SO4. Addition of silver nitrate precipitates 2 chloride ions in case of green colored compound and 1 chloride ion in case of dark green colored compound, respectively. Hydrate isomerism is also observed in the following examples. Hydrate isomers can be considered as special case of ionization isomers. Coordination isomerism. Coordination isomerism occurs in compounds in which both the cationic and the anionic part contain the metal ion. These isomerism arises due to the exchange of one or more ligand between the cationic and the anionic complex of the coordination compound. Are an example of coordination isomerism. Coordination isomers is CrNH36 FeCN6 FeNH36 CrCN6. Linkage isomerism. Linkage isomers arises because some ligands can coordinate to the metal ion in more than one way. Such ligands are called empty-tangent ligands. Thus, linkage isomers is exhibited by complex containing Empty-dependent ligands. Common example of empty-dependent ligand that show linkage isomerism are NO2 versus ONO, CN- versus NC- and NSCN- versus NCS-, whereas the coordination atom is written first in each other. Fifth is coordination position of isomerism. This type of isomerism occur in polynuclear bridged complexes having more than one metal atom. This type of isomerism arises due to the interchange ligand between the different metal center. Stereoisomerism. Stereoisomers have the same atom-to-atom bonding sequence. Both the atoms differ in their arrangement in space. Coordination compound exhibit two types of geometrical isomerism: cis and trans in alkenes, and optical isomerism, non-superimposable mirrors image that have a unequal property of rotating the plane polarized light. These are detailed below. Geometrical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism arises when the atom bonded directly to the metal have different space arrangements. The simplest example of geometrical isomerism in coordination compound is the cis-trans isomerism. Two ligands occupying position adjacent to one another around the metal around are called, while ligands occupying positions opposite to each other are called trans to each other. The existence of the two different compound having the molecular formula PTNS3,2Cl2 was used by the father of coordination chemistry, Alfred Werner, to prove that unlike carbon, transition metals often have square planar geometry. Trans isomerism occur both in square planar as well as octahedral coordination compounds. Square planar complexes are four coordinated complexes. A natural question arises: do tetrahedral complexes which are also four coordinated show cis-trans isomerism? The answer is no. This is because all tetrahedral complexes such as Ma4, Ma2b2, MABCD, where ABCD represents the ligands, can be exit in each of one geometry form in which all positions are adjacent to each other. Werner are successful in showing the platinum complexes exhibit two geometry forms, cis and trans. A commonly observed example in this type of complex is shown by the coordination compound, which exists in cis and trans forms as square planar complexes. Square planar complexes of this type MABCD, where all the ligands are different, display three isomers. We can write three structures by fixing the position of any one of the ligand and positioning the other three ligands, namely BCD trans, to its own. It is important to note that structure 2 is in which C is trans and to D is identical to the structure 3 in which D is trans to C. The geometrical isomerism is the key importance in coordination compound with coordination number 4 and 6. Before we discuss the geometry of isomers, it is appropriate to review the cis and trans positions. In case of square planar and octahedral complexes, the position 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 and 4, 1 in the square planar complexes are cis with respect to each other, while the positioning 1, 3 and 2, 4 are trans to each other. Similarly, the positions 1, 3, 2, 4 and 5, 6 is in octahedral complexes are trans to each other, while the other positions 1 5 2 5 1 2 6 2 6 3 etc. are cis to each other. Geometrical isomerism in complex with coordination 4. The complexes with coordination 4 can either acquire square, planar, or tetrahedral geometry. A regular tetrahedral species of the type Ma4, Ma2, B2, MABCD exists is only one geometry isomers. This is because all the positions are adjacent to one another. One another is tetrahedral geometry. As a result, tetrahedral complexes do not exhibit geometrical isomerism. Or on the other hand, a planar species of the formula Ma2B2 can exist in cis and trans forms, and thereby dipole geometry and the geometrical isomerism. The chemical and physiological properties of the geometry isomerism differ greatly. For example, PtCl2NH32 is a pale orange yellow compound with a solubility of 25 gram into 100 ml in water. This compound is used for the chemotherapy treatment of cancer patients. On the other hand, trans PtCl2NH32 is a deep yellow compound and has a very limited solubility 0.037 gram in 100 gram of water 100 ml of water. Some other compounds of this type are formed by complexes of Pt2, Pd3, Ni2, Cu2, etc. It is important to note that geometrical isomers have been isolated only in case of Pt2 complexes is primarily because the platinum 2 complexes are far more stable than the complexes formed with the other metals. The square planar complexes of the type Ma2Bc show geometrical isomers in case of where the similarly A group are either adjacent to each other as so. It is important to appreciate the geometrical isomerism cannot be found in complex conforming the formula Ma4 Ma3b or MaB3. The student is advised to draw the possible spatial arrangements these cases and convince that all the arrangements are exactly equivalent. Geometrical isomers are found in square planar complexes which have unsymmetrical bidendant ligand. For example, in bidendant ligand glycine there are two different donor atoms, that is N and O.